size.
Yeah, it's not in this part of the document, is
Oh,
what
it's
she
not.
means.
You know what? We just got one for the appraiser's office, and those figures were a little different.
Okay.
Let me make you a copy of this,
Election County.
and you can plug those into your
Treasurer County
spreadsheet.
Attorney.
Dispatch isn't in there either.
OVA, computer equipment. Yes.
Dispatch isn't?
Why don't she come up here and sit down like I care about it?
She said dispatch isn't in there either.
Boy, that was the
Jail
two
care.
items that I thought I'd added.
Judicial, jail care.
Let's see if I can find them.
Sheriff. Look for the quarter.
Well, I don't know. Register deeds.
Okay.
Boy, we're missing a page here. We're missing a C. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you got B and G, but don't have C.
We need a. Let's see. Have you got a flash drive, or
Oh, I am.
the other option would be for me to email this to you? But, yeah,
So on these here.
but it's not there. Yeah.
But we're missing a page. There's,
missing a
it
page,
goes
yeah.
from B to D.
Yeah, that's what
So
we're
we're
doing.
missing C.
Yeah, we're missing C.
So we're just,
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, let's see if I can figure out how to file, print.
There we are. We're missing a whole page.
yeah. So that total down there probably is correct. Just we're not have, we just don't have a page. It's- As a board, have you guys made a decision yet on whether ambulance and transportation will be added to, or are we waiting for this discussion?
You could have somebody open that on Excel and then print it.
Okay.
Are you? Okay. New England Courthouse Gym. know while we're.
Yeah, well,
Okay. I was, since we're at 26,000 out of 596,000, I think we could safely remove knock it down 5 mils is what I'd like to see happen out of that.
From where you're at now?
On the courthouse general is what I'm looking at.
Okay. Now, we're already under your current tax lid. And I guess we got this new severe tax lid coming on us a year from now.
Mm-hmm.
And so the thing that you got to keep in mind is we've got pretty large carryover here.
Mm-hmm.
And we're probably not going to have that a year from now. And then we'll be under a severe tax lid. And we won't be able to raise taxes.
yeah.
So I can see you cutting back in certain departments, but I think we need to keep our overall levy up.
Okay, what are we looking at as the current, what we're projecting as of now for the,
Well, right now, the lid for this year, but got to remember the lid for the current year is all we got to do is adopt a resolution to exceed it. We would be at 108.179 mils to be at our lid. And so that would be slightly, it'd give us more dollars than last year. It would give us about $87,000 more.
our residents are hurting because the taxes are so high.
Yeah.
We as a commission have to do something about them. So, I had numbers set in my mind where I wanted to be, and we're not even close to where I'd like to be as far as the overall numbers. So I guess I'm going to look to you to see. I realize there's a tax lid coming, but we've got to do something.
Did you find the number 3 on there? Or the, what, C?
Yes, there's
Okay.
BC. Yeah.
When I scanned that, it must have grabbed 2 pages at once. Okay.
So we put those in.
So where are you thinking you're wanting to try to get it to?
Under 100.
Under 100, okay.
Yeah. If you look at this,
Is there any chance we could get it down to the 90
For this year.
for this?
The absolute disaster for
Pardon?
next year. Yeah. I mean, I already got everything in there
Yeah.
that you're kind of wanting. And of course, you may make some tweaks.
Yeah, we've
to it.
made some minor changes, but
And,
this is where we were in '06. This is where we were in 16. That's a jump of almost 60 mils. And this is why I've got people calling me all the time saying, can you do something? And
and
it's
really, the
time.
valuation isn't much different than it was back in those days.
Mhm.
But you've got 6 mils in there for the home for the aged, which you didn't have back then.
And
That's
we're going
just-
to have 5 mils. I wanted to ask you, is there 5 mils in here for building a new pool?
No,
It's only just 2 minutes.
I'm pretty sure there. I
that
don't
would be
remember.
under the school
Yes.
Under
appropriation.
recreation.
Full rec-
Yeah.
Under school.
USD 297.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
in the, well, then it
Yeah.
wouldn't be in this.
It
It would be in
just
the-
voted down in March.
Yeah, but it
Right.
wouldn't affect the county.
It wouldn't affect the county's budget. It would be part of the school.
Part of the school
Or the
budget.
recreation.
Okay.
So if we would take the home for the aged and the ambulance out of the county general, that would go right off the general, but it's not very much for overall.
Yeah, but I mean, we need to do those items. So,
But would this be a good year to do that? Or leave them in there and then take them out next year? than that.
Well, one of the things is there is an exemption for increases in ambulance. It's one of the few exemptions. Now they're starting, I'm hearing rumors that they're getting real picky. And for instance, law enforcement, an exemption for increases in law enforcement. So obviously you'd think sheriff's office is law enforcement. But the seminars I've been to, and what Department of Administration is researching is, okay, is the county attorney law enforcement? Is the court law enforcement? And we, at this point, we don't know. Now they're even coming out and saying, well, not all the functions within the sheriff's department are going to be considered law enforcement under this new tax lid. So, and I haven't heard anything on that. But if they do that to the sheriff, I wouldn't be surprised to go into the ambulance and say, well, there's certain functions you're doing there that doesn't qualify. But the new tax lid, one of the things is that under the current tax lid, if we need to go above it, all we do is adopt a resolution, and we can exceed it. Starting next year, to exceed it, you've got to have voter approval.
Right.
Okay. The first thing about it is that basically, in order to get it on an election quick enough that you could do it for the current year, you're going to have to instruct the county clerk to hold an election by the 15th of June. And by the 15th of June, we don't have any evaluations, a lot of our estimates. So it's going to be after the 15th of June before we know that, hey, we can't, if we go back down to 90 mills, then, which would be $4 million in taxes, that $4 million becomes your new cap, plus some adjustments that we've already kind of had. But by the time you see that you're in problems, you better figure out how you're going to survive that 1 year without doing anything, because you're going to, by the time you get it on a general election, it's going to be for the next year, not that year. If you don't do it by the 15th of June, you're looking at the next year before you would be able to really affect your budget. And the other thing I'm hearing pretty widely is most of the county commissioners, if that was ever put up for vote, don't think it'd ever be approved, that the voters would turn it down. If you put a new project up, like for instance a swimming pool or something, okay, there's a lot of enthusiasm for something new. But to increase taxes without anything new being involved in it,
We have exactly a situation like that right now. We have a 6 mil levy that was approved some years ago for the Home for the Aged, but they never got around to starting to build it. Well, last year we got started. We appointed a building commission. The building commission wants to issue bonds, and we had a citizen-sponsored initiative that requested that it be voted on. So now we have to wait for the election coming up on August 2nd to see if they can issue the bonds or not. So right now, we're assuming that it's going to go south. So we have prepared a Home for the Aged budget based on just the 6 mills being used by the current contract.
Oh.
We spread it a little different than you have in there, but...
Okay. I was going to say 6 mills, I think is what I stuck
Yeah,
with here.
so,
Well, do we want to start with the general fund, go through it, and go through the various funds and see up where we end up, and then we can talk about philosophy of where we want it? to settle in?
We did make some changes
Okay, let's go
today, and we gave them to the county clerk.
And I gave John the.
Okay, there's the appraiser.
Yeah, she switched over this other boiler pump and gets that squeal in my office.
Okay, I got that changed. Was there others?
Not at this.
Not this
Oh,
one.
wait a second. Did you do ambulance?
Yes, we
you-
did ambulance.
What changes do you?
I think we left that alone, didn't we?
Because I had I had a question about whether the personal services ought to be the 152. Okay, that's identical to what I used,
Okay.
so. Okay, collection.
Right now, I think we're going to use the figures we have, but we're
investigating something.
investigating a chance to reduce it. So should that come about, we'll get in touch with you.
Okay, okay.
But for right now, I think we're just
And
going to use what we have.
Yeah, and even once we go to publication, and then we go to the hearing, we can reduce anything. We just
Okay.
can't increase it. But if we knew we were going to reduce it, it'd be nice to reduce it before.
What I'm looking at, John, is county clerks have to budget for at least probably 3 elections a year. And those 3 elections.
And no reimbursements.
And no reimbursements. The other thing that county clerks are faced with is the replacement of our electronic voting machines. And so, right now, there is not enough money to purchase the new machines, and depending on, which way the county wants to go, that's going to vary that cost. But I'm trying to set money aside so that when the day to purchase those machines, there is money there.
Yeah.
And if I don't do it now, then, it may be, who knows long down the road. The cost of our tokens is going up. The cost of our contractual services all
Well, if
going
you
up.
don't do it now, then next year, you're not going to be able to do it.
Right,
That's,
right, exactly.
And I'm going to have, normally what I see is the election being high in the presidential election year, which would be this year. I have yet to see a county that next year's election hasn't exceeded this year in what they're requesting. And so,
and that mail ballot, or that special election, if we as a county go above the tax lid, it has to be done by a mail ballot election. It can't be as we know it now. I mean, there's guidelines that we need to follow. So those are the variations that I'm trying to account for now.
yeah.
And that's where it ended up.
Yeah.
Most of it is in that equipment and the actual administration of elections. The cost of administration plus the cost of our tokens, the cost of our workstation, the cost of our contracts that go with the machines is all going to increase.
Well, that is a fairly good jump between this year and next year. But on the other hand, you don't have anything in reserve for equipment, do you? And
Very little.
a lot of our counties that I work with already have some in reserve for their equipment, and they're still going up about 20%. I'd say that's about what I'm seeing. So, of course, this is up to commissioners, But I guess my thought is I'd rather see that a little high this year, and that's a place then a year from now, we can pull back and have money to go someplace else that we need under the lid to,
Once I get that new equipment, it will go back down.
yeah, well, you got 15,000 in there. Is
Yeah.
that gonna cover the new equipment then?
Well, it's the equipment and the contracts that go with them, and that's what I have a phone call into ES&S, but I know they're super swamped right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
I
all I've been hearing is we know we gotta do something, we don't know what it's gonna cost.
And the first time around, we had HAVA money, and so our election equipment didn't cost
Yeah.
the counties anything. This time around, we do not have HAVA money, so it's going to fall squarely on the shoulders of the workers. Some counties have already made the change with their election equipment. We haven't because we don't have the funds available, and so that's why I set the budget.
And what I'm hearing, I don't think any of the counties I've worked with have made the change yet. What they're talking about is doing it next year, when things are not.
In a presidential year.
Yeah.
In a presidential year.
And trying to get it put in place. And so you're putting it in your budget so you can do it.
Hopefully, yes.
Okay, what, you guys got any input on it?
Well, I just want to, I want to find out what the cost of the equipment is going to be. I mean, we can figure it at this, but the cost of the equipment, because it's a, basically $25,000, $24,000 jump, it's almost double, so we could, it's only $15,000, we can cut some off
Yeah.
at that time. And that's
Well, that, yeah.
okay.
Okay, commissioners, any change there?
Yeah, there was, well, no, you should have what we did last meeting.
Okay.
just added that one line item on the attorney prosecution, makes it 96.
96300 Okay. And where's that extra 5 that coming out?
What's underlying prosecution now? So I just moved
The prosecution right now is under other.
So, yeah,
Take
we'll
that
remove it
and
from
just-
other, yeah.
Just relocate it, okay? Okay. Okay, then the next one is at C, the register of deeds.
Okay.
Any changes there?
Well, I've got it in the list for some discussion at some point, but we'll just figure where we're at.
Sheriff,
Yeah.
up about 21,000.
Yeah.
Okay. Dispatch,
There was an increase there, but it's well thought out,
Okay.
and we concur on that.
jail care,
I thought we upped juvenile for some reason.
I had the same thing.
For jail care.
Yeah,
What do you have for juvenile?
7,000.
7,000.
7,000 for juvenile? Okay.
So it's showing 2,500
Yeah.
here.
Okay.
That's what the
Oh, I
budget
see.
This is the jail care, adults and juveniles.
Yeah, I was on the wrong one.
Okay. And
You're right, it went up.
So
approved is
7,000 and then 29.
27,500.
So see, we
Is
did
that
have a
27
change.
or 29?
Yeah, it went
Brad?
up about 5 grand.
Oh, boy, that looks like 29 to me.
29,500.
That's what I got written on mine here.
Okay.
It's jail.
Total's 36,500
Yep.
for the two. Okay.
29.5, okay.
Okay.
Yes, so that would be a 9.
Okay. Okay.
So that changes the total too a little bit, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Instead of-
36?
It'd be 36,500 instead of
Okay.
33,500. Judicial,
I think that looks good to me.
okay. Clerk of the court, they
Yeah,
asked for the same.
that's good.
Okay. Buildings and grounds,
There was a little increase on that,
from what I've got, or what I've got there.
yeah,
Is that what,
for repairs that are going to be in the out year real quick. We have an old heating boiler. There's 2 of them downstairs, and one of them's probably gonna go south on us. And it'll be right in December. You look.
you'll live into next
He
year?
has what you guys signed off on
Yeah,
in here.
yeah, that's the correct amount, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I agree. Okay,
Emergency preparedness,
okay.
the landfill, looks like the landfill.
Okay, landfill, you put the figures in.
Yeah, I put in the same as last year.
Dave is here. I think he has his, why don't we ask you to step up and,
As far as the landfill, I had everything the same except the total capital outlay. and I didn't know where you guys want to factor in on that one.
Were you reducing it?
Yes, I didn't have anything on that one. We did the concrete crushing this year,
Yeah.
you know, we had 20,000 laid away,
Hey,
estimated
that's
for
a
the
mill.
cost on that one.
So you want that 45,000 taken out?
Well, I mean, if we don't foresee any other costs that's gonna be on there.
Yeah, I'd say take it out.
Okay. And that brings you down to 145.5 total budget.
I don't have a copy, is he?
No, he didn't,
Okay, so we'll need to sign it.
yeah. No, solid waste, noxious weed, prairie dog, and ridge. Come back.
I mean, I see in 2 years from now, we're gonna have a contractor come in and do some earthworks, things like that.
Yeah.
But we're gonna be under the tax lid again too.
So how are you going to do it?
Well, that's one of the dilemmas we're at.
Well, if they want their roads to get to and from in the
Can you
wintertime.
put it in a road and bridge and then put part of that, you can do those special transfers into your highway improvement fund?
Yeah, but we're talking about landfill here.
And that's the reason I'm thinking if we're gonna look for the town of the tax lid, we may be
They'll have equipment.
reserve 25,000 there. You're still cutting it 20,000.
We gotta make a decision.
Guess we have to do it that way.
Leave it in?
Leave it, yeah, leave that in there.
At 25 or 45?
I'd go 25, I think.
25? Okay.
Yeah.
And that'll make it 170,500. Okay, the next item is Home for the Aged, and I adjusted that transfer for 2015. You guys had done a resolution that said up to half of the budget. And of course, then that didn't use the entire budget. And I went ahead and stuck in here, if you want to revise your resolution, to transfer an amount to bring you up to the total budget for last year, which is 143,000. The half the budget would have been 116,000. So, but I wanted to make sure you guys was all right with.
Okay, 100 and what?
I'm using 143,601.
143,601.
601. And if we'd limited it to just the half,
Yeah.
it would have been $116,070.
Okay.
And anyway, but we've got that in there for 6 minutes. Now, do we want the 6 mills just for the new construction?
I think we need to wait for the vote and then get with you.
Okay.
I think that's the best way.
Okay. Courthouse general, okay.
Okay. We know we have, what, 2 or 3 major criminal trials coming up. And the reason it's been high for the past couple of years is because of these trials. And last year,
Insurance.
2 of them got pushed forward to this year, and now one of them's got pushed forward into next year. So we're in a dilemma here on how much do we set aside. If we cut it and then it comes to a full-blown trial, we'll have to amend the budget to cover the expenses.
And then the question is where you're going to get the money to cover the expenses.
So I think we could probably cut some out of this.
I think
Well-
we could cut 5 mills, and that'd still leave us with 415,000 if I did my math right. What is-
A mill would be 44,158.
Yeah.
Guess I didn't grab my calculator.
Yeah, that mill would change from this year.
Okay, that'll change.
How about 4 mills?
Might have to go.
44,158.
Times
Times
227.
4. 4 mills would be 176,633.
And say we don't spend all this 596. Where does that go then?
Goes into, it'll fall back into our reserve courthouse, our reserve.
Equipment.
Well, either that or it'll carry over into the next year. And we need some carryover. or we're-
Well, I know that. That's why I'm saying I think we can cut 4 or 5 mills. Even if we were to use 200,000 out of this, it'd still leave us 396 if I understand how that flows correctly. So 5 mills is 220, 4 mills is that. Gentlemen, what do you think? I'd like to cut as much as we can.
Do you want 5?
If we can.
I don't know if we can go 5. I'd say 4 would be better.
4?
I think 4 would be better.
Okay.
I'll go with 4.
Okay, and I think we can go through some of these at a later time, and I think we can get another one at least.
Okay. So you want to take about 175,000 out of this? And
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
okay.
I'm just looking at it going, we've only spent 26,000.
That'll bring it down to 445,000. That sound all right?
So that's going to come up how much again?
445.
445.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, computer.
And that looks like what we approved last.
Oh, okay, another question. Eric, is that your department? Because I wanted to talk to you a little bit and see if we could knock a little bit off of this. Okay. So we'll leave it at that for now.
Okay. Employee benefits. I increased Social Security 3.5%. I increased health insurance 10%.
And we feel we can reduce health insurance.
Okay.
Yes.
We have looked at, our employees are 37, I believe, and
No, we're up to 43 full-time employees.
how many?
43,
43 now, with the last 2 that were hired. Okay.
43 total employees,
Total full-time.
full-time.
Where do you want to cut it to?
You was 610 on the health insurance is where you were at, right?
Yeah.
610. Okay.
And that's about $1 million is what he had predicted.
And
You take 1,000 out of life insurance.
Okay.
Yes. And that gives you a total of $1,018,770.
Yep. Yep. It does.
That was, I think we did this
Okay.
morning. I think that was, let's stuck it in here so it didn't get away from me.
How much did the evaluation of your farm ground go up?
Pardon?
The evaluation of farm ground, how much did it go up?
It's,
Amanda, can you answer that? She's our appraiser.
let's see, on our fees,
Yeah,
That's-
yeah.
I know.
Okay. Because I'm hearing 30% in some of the other counties.
We just changed
I know.
to
I know they made a mistake last year in our
Oh.
county on
120,
grassland,
610,
and that was increased.
5,000.
Yeah,
And that's going to affect our, what, rural fire? Isn't that based off of,
yeah, I mean, that's mainly rural. so,
yeah,
Yeah, the rural fire, yeah, their valuation's just up a little. But
yeah, we,
this is about a normal, what I'm seeing in a lot of the counties, unless they're real heavy on oil. But the oil valuation going down and the agricultural valuation coming up to offset.
we do have an increase for our rural fire. And I think that's Department 14, is that right? Yeah. What we have there is a request from the chief to set aside $23,500 for a grant. And we were wondering if that should be in his,
Yeah, it should be.
and
because
make
it's
a line
set-
item and put it right there where Joe Blow Public can look at it and say, hey, you know, we know where our money's going.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So we want,
That's the tentative figure, and we're going to be talking to both chiefs later in the week at our regular end-of-month meeting. But for right now, this is what we're looking at, which is subject to change, but
when you're wanting 25,000,
23.5.
23,
23.5 for the grant.
and it puts it up to 100. Okay.
And that's what we're showing.
Okay, so I need to do
Yeah.
some adjustment here. You approved 19,000.
All the way back.
Unemployed benefits, was you guys figured on the 37 employees or factored in the 43?
Pardon?
On the
We-
employee benefits.
We've added a number of employees. We used to never go over 40,
Yeah.
but we are up above 40 right now.
That's what I was wondering, when you was figuring that, you know, if you got it from Freedom Claims and they're basing it off 37 employees, and now you've increased that 6 employees, that's gonna change your line item there.
Now, this adds down to 107,500. Is that what you're wanting, or do you want the 120,000?
I thought it came out to 125,500, but,
Okay, I was doing the approved line here.
and then if you
Am I
put
missing
the grant in there,
I didn't write stuff for
Okay.
see, I put the grant down there, but
Okay, that's, let me see if I'm, transfer, okay, I got that. Here we go, capital outlay, I didn't have that in there. And then the grant, 23.5. Okay, wait a minute, 19, 20,
We
20.
don't have enough. I know we don't for personnel and fire.
25,
but
11.
We're gonna run short.
And 23.5. It's still not coming up with enough.
it's a total of 35.
You want it at 125,500? Okay, I'll be back.
Well, this one that Dan turned in said both St. Francis and Bird City Fire.
But he had this one on top of it. Because he's got personal service 15 and then Bird City. 15 for Bird and 20 for St. So it's a total of 35.
Okay, 125.5, okay.
Yeah,
Got
that's
that.
what I got.
I do, but this says both St. Francis and Fire, so it's not adding these two together, but if, these are both fire districts, and so both fire districts together are this. This is just the Cheyenne County St. Francis Fire. It does not include Burke City. That's the difference between the two that were turned in. So this is both departments turned in together. So you would really only need 20,000 according, if this is the way you decide to go.
Monday, Friday.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
So you'd only need 20,000, not 35. You wouldn't add those together.
Is that something we wanted to ask him on, if we should run?
Pardon?
Is that something we wanted to ask him on, his advice is for running Bird City
Yeah.
and St. Francis Fire
Yeah.
Departments as one, or two separate? We've got two counties, or two towns in Cheyenne County. Bird City has a fire department, we have a fire department. Do we want to run it as one or
I'm
separate?
not sure without some illegal maneuvering that you can. You'd have to ask,
Can separate them or can have them put together?
put together. They're separated right now, aren't they?
No, they're
No,
together.
they're together.
They're
They've
together,
always been.
and you're wanting to separate them.
No,
Well, we're
we
just-
want to know what you would suggest, because we're going to, basically, we've got two fire chiefs, correct? One for Bird and one for Sandy?
It's been a struggle between.
I've seen this once before, and they separate. But I think that's a legal procedure that you got to go through, and my suspicion is that you probably have to have a voter approval to separate the districts.
Want to go there?
No,
So, I mean, it's nothing that we
Yeah.
can do this year, but maybe a year or so.
That could backfire so bad.
okay.
And one of the things about the fire department,
Well, but you're going to have
Is-
the budget for both departments.
it's
Uh,
basically the lid didn't change for it.
Do you guys want copies of these?
Please.
Well, and on top of that, I guess if you think.
What we had talked about a little bit was maybe an interlocal agreement between the two cities where the county would pay 50% of the training and the city would pay 50% for their people.
That might be a
Because
lot
what we're
easier.
doing is we're housing the equipment together in both locations, and we're using the personnel from both locations for both purposes.
Yeah.
Good, yes.
So-
Sounds to me like an interlocal agreement would be better than
Yeah.
separating them.
That's your reports from 15 and 16, so you can see the difference per classification.
I'm
Okay.
going to call Danny real quick.
Agricultural, 6.5. Okay. You're not that big of, you're about 10 million on 55.
If you excuse me for a second, I'm going to call our chief and have a question for him. I just need to know if that's a total number.
That's only about little over
Yes, this-
18%,
I
so
believe
you're not as
that's
bad
what I
as
interpreted it, but-
some other towns.
18
Yes.
increase.
Increase in valuation yeah. On agriculture.
Did you see this farmer just shake?
There's going to be a lot of farmers shake when they get their tax bills,
I know.
so.
Unfortunately.
Okay, where are we at next?
On other, there's a capital outlay item. I think I've got 3,000 in there, same as last year.
Okay,
Autopsy, 2,500. That's probably, you can see it didn't cover it in 2015, but that's probably an up and down type thing. I put in the same as last year.
yeah.
Health officer, I put in the same as last year.
There was one thing, the Silver Hair Legislature. There's nobody going to be using that fund that we're aware of this year. Carol Redding came to us a few months ago and said that she couldn't continue going to Topeka to the meetings, and she hadn't found anybody that was interested in doing it.
We have
So-
200 in there. Shall we take it out then?
Yeah, I would say take it out.
Okay.
I mean, it's a minor amount, but nonetheless,
Yep.
why keep it in
That's
there?
right.
That's right. Why do
Okay.
On the airport, didn't they drop their request for capital improvement? There was a letter came from Dave Yost. I think he cut that to 70,000.
I'm not sure.
Okay, we can look at
Instead of
that.
90.
I think he's wrapping up on his federal grants to get that airport up to snuff.
Now, they have 5-year contract, aren't you guys?
Okay, well, yeah, they are going to, so, well, you talk to Lauren and then we'll see where we need to be. But we're gonna figure the 125.5 for now, and then if we need to, it's not a dead set deal, but that's kind of what. Yes, grant expense is 23.5, yes. Operating, well, your total budget, with the 125.5, you're 102 without the grant, then with the grant, you're 125.5. Yes, yes. So. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay, well, I'll talk to Lauren and let us know, please. Okay, thanks. Thank you, Danny. Bye. Bird City might need a truck.
Pardon?
Bird City might need a truck, fire truck.
Uh-huh.
So.
For rural?
That brush truck that Cody was talking to you about last week, that they went out and was
Having trouble getting there and back.
end of service on the life of the truck. Yes.
So he's gonna get a hold of Lauren, but I told him we were just gonna figure the 123.5, and then we'll see what it looks like when we talk to him.
Okay.
I don't have that letter from Dave, but I know he sent a letter out, Dave Yost, on the fair. Airport, and he was reducing his request that he needed for next year.
Yeah.
And I thought it was 70,000 instead of 90. Does that ring a bell with you?
It rings a bell with me that I don't know the number.
I got so many numbers running in my head right now that
I know the feeling very well.
3351 is their business number. Do you want me to call him?
yeah.
Yes, is Dave Yost in by chance? Oh, can you, no, this is Brett calling, we're at a commissioner meeting, we had a question on his budget. Is there any way, can you transfer me or give me his number up there? Okay. Okay, thanks. Yeah, that's what number I dialed, 3351. He's up in Imperial.
There's a cell number, 8617.
That's his cell number? Thanks, Dave. Why don't you dial the cell number and I'll wait until 8617? I lost my phone, or broke my phone. I used to have his cell. Rodney, do you want to call him on your cell phone? 8617? I'm not going to hang up on him.
785?
332 8617.
861.
7. I may get a hold of him. They may transfer me, I'm not sure.
Okay, 332.
8617.
Voicemail. Dave Yost, this is Rod Radcliffe. If you get this message, it's 3 o'clock. In the next 15, 20 minutes, give me a call back. Thank you. Bye. Let's go with 70. That's what I recall on that.
Okay. If something's different, I'll hopefully know here in a second.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, that's fine. Hey. Okay. Hey. 3188. That's fine. All right. Hey, thank you. All right, bye-bye.
We didn't have the airport position now.
Probably. Yeah. Ron Miles going off. Rick Rogers went. No, I don't have Rick's number.
Mike Callicrate, Rodney Brace.
I had all them on my phone before I tried to work on it. Okay.
What about any of the other appropriations, other than that silver-haired legislature? Any changes?
Conservation District, they did lower theirs.
Yeah, that was,
Okay.
what, a couple thousand?
This is what they requested from the Board of Commission. And
23,000.
Can't keep track of anything.
Okay, a couple thousand. Okay.
Is this your paper or mine? Because that
Probably-
sure ain't the same paper I was looking at. Now,
It's probably yours. I've seen you misplace everything I'm looking at today.
I found the one I was looking at. But that ain't the right page I was looking on this.
You know, and mental health is always asking to match and to bring up a little bit in the county. They have been here and requested funds also.
Who?
Mental health.
I'm almost ready to get killed, but I think we ought to push back and have the hospital board accept those 2 programs.
Okay.
I mean, why are we in the medical business when we have a hospital board?
Sounds good to me.
Huh?
Yeah.
Shall I bring it up in a meeting tomorrow? And if I get shot, will you bury me with honors?
We'll bury your face up.
We won't let them haul you down in the straight yet.
We'll leave it in for now, but
Here's
we have a old vote where the hospital can ask up to 12 mills,
mental health.
and that was voted in by residents.
$6,000.
But